Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight or today. I do have to work during the day today. First, thank you. Thank you for your patience. I'm a day behind with this, and I do apologize. I know no one is forcing me, but I just really want to acknowledge that, I want to show up for you. I want to show up for myself. I want to show up for you. And I put a pressure on myself to make sure that I stick to the schedule as best as I can. But holy moly, right? Holy moly, this time is bananas, totally bananas. So thank you. Thank you for your well wishes. Thank you for your care. Thank you for your grace. Just thank you so much. And please know how much I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. What I'm creating for you today is the Aries season video. Happy birthday, Aries. I'm an Aries moon, and I really love Aries energy. I love every sign though, truly. So don't feel snubbed. But I feel that Aries energy is very exciting because it marks the dawn of a new spin of the wheel, It marks a new time. Let me first acknowledge as well that you might hear some background noises right now. If Mama barks, I will totally cut that out. If he grumbles, I might leave it in. We'll see how crazy it gets. But because I am a little behind, I need to take advantage of every moment of the day and not wait till nighttime to try to do things and throw my system out of whack and blah, blah, blah. So, thank you for being okay with a little background noise today as things, start to hopefully, I don't even know when things are going to settle, right? So Aries season runs from March 21st, which is today for me, through April 19th. We have the new moon in Aries on March 24th, and we have the full moon in Libra on April 7th. So I'll put that information here for you for anybody who likes to write that down or just make a note or whatever. But essentially, because we are all experiencing as a collective the energy of Aries, the sun is in Aries, shining its light down to all of us, where we're being empowered and attuned essentially to the energy of Aries, no matter where or how little or how much you have of it in your chart, you're going to feel it. And Aries has a lot of oomph. Aries is I am. It is about will. It is about personal force. It is about me, the self. I need this. I need to do this for me. I need to put myself first in some aspects, we could say in general. Whereas the opposite sign of Aries being Libra is all about balance and working with particularly at least one other person most of the time. It could be collective. It could be a group, but more so typically relationships. We see the scale and the balance of the scale. Well, Aries is the single. Aries is one. Aries is the start, and it is about the experience, the personal experience. Who am I? What am I? What do I need? Where am I going? What fuels me? And it's very of the self. This is really interesting right now because we're experiencing this coronavirus pandemic at this time, and we've clearly through correspondence we can make this connection, and we chatted about this a little bit in our live stream today. But we had this past year, in 2019, the Amazon burning in ways that we had not seen before. Maybe it had happened before and we weren't aware of it publicly, but it definitely was something that everyone knew was happening at least this time. And I know that there are fires in the Amazon all the time, but this was a tremendous amount of fire. And we had learned now, right, that the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest, are the lungs of the world, of the planet. And as without, so within. What are we facing now? A respiratory virus. What the heck, right? How can we deny this? But that stream runs both ways. And I'm sorry if you've heard me say this a couple times. I might even say it on YouTube because I just think it's really important for us to talk about. But in regards to Aries season, that stream runs both ways. As without, so within, but as within, so without. So as we cultivate healing and identify with ourselves potentially, and I don't mean to project, these are just examples, but maybe I don't need that. Maybe I can do this in a different way. Maybe what I thought I needed, I don't need it at all, and I need something very different that's much healthier for everyone and myself. these, again, just examples, not projecting, but to give you that concept and work that into Aries season, this is a great time to work on the self, develop as we are constantly developing, but develop the self in ways that not only that by virtue of supporting ourselves supports the outward collective, supports the earth, supports humanity. And it's important to go within. We're isolated at this time. We're under quarantine. We are locked down. Introverts, what's up? Like we're probably thriving a little bit in that regard, but the fear is there, the insecurity, the question of what our money is going to look like and how this is going to play out in our businesses and in our work, people being laid off, people being, all kinds of topsy-turvy stuff getting turned on its head through this experience that we were obviously unprepared for, right? But as this guides us to go within, literally within to our houses and literally into our creativity and our imagination, what a beautiful divine time to also have this Aries season element of self. Who am I creating? And as this is more thoughtfully, if I may say so, if that's an appropriate word, I'm not 100% sure, but more thoughtfully developed and more powerfully developed, in turn, at least this is the start of it, it will expand through the collective, through humanity and the earth itself. How cool that we can focus on that during this time from at least a subtle energy perspective, right? Aries energy has a bit of punchiness, right? Who's more punchy than Aries? Maybe Scorpio. Aries though, right? They're like, ugh. They're willing to take things by force. They are not going to take things lying down. They are, and I don't mean Aries people, I'm sorry, Aries energy, not people necessarily. Everybody's different. Our charts are so different. Not all Aries are the same. But the Aries energy can use its anger in a divine way to force, to change, to show up. Not to battle necessarily, although there's always a battle of swords playing out, even if it's our own back and forth in our own heads, right? But show up and use that energy, that Mars energy, that warrior energy to speak out, to say, to declare, I am this, I'm not that, I choose this, I reject that. And again, so needed at this time. I love how the universe loves to make things happen in appropriate times for everyone, right? You may find yourself quite creative at this time. You might find yourself full of ideas, rocket-like ideas shooting out, and not all of them might catch orbit. I know that, on the downside of Aries energy, I personally used to struggle, and, I have to check it now and then, of course, but used to struggle with too many ideas and too many attempts, and all in all, that was just kind of draining my energy because I couldn't really focus and develop something 100%, let's say, because there was a little bit everywhere. It was a bit, I'm going to say siphoned in different directions. Not the best terms here, not the best analogy, but it was being drained essentially. Nothing was really making like that much growth or that much development because it was all just a little bit in all these different directions. But when we can unify that force and see, wow, does this play into that? Maybe I have 3 ideas. Which one of those ideas is going to fuel the next one? And which one would it be probably not the best idea to start with? These are things we want to keep in mind for Aries season. We might want to go out and change the world. Well, first we have to work on ourselves. First, we have to change that stuff within. Has that already been done? Then let's start to change our surroundings, our environment, our day-to-day. Has that been done? Now let's start to work through our community. How are we helping other people? Or how is this new dynamic of self engaging in a more extended context, right? So all things to consider instead of going out and saying like, I'm going to do everything at once. Remember that there's this kind of waterfall rippling, champagne tower pouring kind of situation. We're not going to fill them all up from the bottom going around. Pouring one is how we can do it, right? Are you getting that image? I hope so. There's a very physical energy to Aries, a lot of heat, which also at this time, how can I not speak of the virus, right? At this time, heat and physical vitality, physical development are so supportive, are so useful. If you, for example, if this is a respiratory illness, respiratory virus, and we want to be as best prepared for, gosh, God forbid, like something like this is something we have to process as an individual, getting some exercise that strengthens our lungs is a wonderful way to do that. Sweating, so that our system is already in this thing of releasing toxins and cleaning the system out, is a great way for us to work on that all, right? So very cool, again, that this is all tying in around the same time, or rather is supported all in the same time. Aries energy is also one of action, right? So we might feel very restless if we're cooped up inside of our homes and we feel like, oh, I'm not getting done what I need to get done. Or think about this. What can you do from home? What can you do from your bedroom? Do you have a phone? Do you have internet? Can you call people? Can you set up a group email to your friends to check in on one another? Can you find funny memes and share them with people? Can you work on projects you've been putting off? Can you keep working on your taxes now that we have till July 15th to pay them? Silver lining, like focus on the good. I was stressed about that for sure. So action might not be as external during this time. The action can be within, and it can be through lines of like technology or even mail or something like that. I don't know how healthy that might be right now, but in general, that kind of stuff. Doing things in a way that is not necessarily what we might picture when we think of action, but doing them in our homes or internally is going to be a very good saving grace kind of experience of being cooped up. It, again, is drawing us inward. It is drawing us inward to make changes, to understand ourselves. There might be confusion on who the frick we are. And during this time of isolation and detachment from the things that, we might have experienced in our day-to-day typically, that we are now learning of ourselves and learning again who we are, who we want to create ourselves as, and continue this internal kind of shift, the air just came on, in ways that will be expressed and experienced in the external. And of course, as we move through the signs, we move to Taurus, we move to Gemini, we move to Cancer, and so on. This all is done in increments. It's done in these levels. It's divine. It's like a clock. It's meant to be this way, like the seasons rotate. So the cultivation of the self is the focus during this time. Setting intentions to call back your power, call back your force, hold up your warrior energy like you have never before, perhaps, is going to show up majorly for some of us. I think I shared last month, I had to really pop off in a sense, not that it wasn't warranted, but pop off and let my jersey come out and stand up for myself, even though these were people that, are supposed to love me or whatever. I had to stand up for myself and let them know, you can't talk to me like that. You can't talk to me that. I will not let you do that kind of thing. And I've even had to do that recently with different companies that I've worked with, and even my book publisher. I've had to stand up for myself and been like, this is absolutely ridiculous. My standards are much higher than this. You need to fix this, or I'm going to have to invoice you for the work that you're making me do, which is actually your work. And before, I might have been more demure. I might have been more helpless feeling, or, oh, well, this is just, no, dude, I'm a giant. That's what I think I shared with you this before. But when I was being projected on, and this communication was being projected at me as if I was weak, or as if I was helpless, or as if I had to look someone in the eyes and say, excuse me, I don't mean to scare you right now as I do this, but I had to be I'm a giant, and you don't need to say that to me. I'm a giant, and I'm okay, and I run my life, Sorry, I hope I didn't intimidate you too much. But that's the energy of Aries that we really need to bring in, or that we need to allow in. It's not that we bring it in, we allow it. Where is your warrior? What is your fight? What is your cause, rather? And how willing are you to get uncomfortable, perhaps? It might feel really good, though, to stand up for yourself, to say no, to say that's not good enough, to say, it's not going to happen. I'm doing this for me, and because I'm doing this for me, I hold the field for others in the collective to do the same for themselves. All right. I hope that that all makes sense and that's yummy and delicious to chew on. I'm going to switch you around, boop, and move you over so that you can check out the tarot reading that we're going to do for this season. All right. Thank you. I'll see you just a sec. All right. So, of course, the reason we're using our tarot through this is to get some unique guidance. Every Aries season is going to be different. So yes, I can tell you about the energy of Aries, but what's going on right now? What would be best be served to understand what's a message, what's a story. So we're going to do 3 stories, just setting an intention to receive the most supportive guidance for our collective right now. Of course, this won't resonate with everyone, or it might not resonate right now, and it might resonate later through the season. All right, so I'm going to cut the deck. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, and they're going to go down this time. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so our first card is the 3 of Cups reversed. So this might speak to, excuse me, I'm just going to angle you a little differently. Or, make it easy for myself and just drag everything over. There we go. But it's messy now. All right, we'll fix it as we go. I'm going to bring it in, give you a better focus here. It's just focusing on the back. There we go. So 3 of Cups reversed might say we're feeling disconnected from community. Or it might feel just that real meeting of the minds, that real celebrating of one another, those best friends, those co-collaborators, goodness, my words, those people who truly are like-minded souls who we want to work with, or we want to connect with, or we want to break bread with, or we want on our team. We might be feeling either disconnected from them, or maybe we've got a taste of them, and now we're kind of separating again. Kind of like if you meet someone on a trip. I know I'm thinking of the lovely individuals I got to meet on my retreat and come together, and now it's like time to separate, time to go our own ways, do our own work. So you might find like a close connection pullback, and it doesn't mean that that's gone. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily like a breakup or some kind of issue like that, but there's been a little pause, a little separation, and of course that needs to happen because we all need to keep growing, right? So story number 2, we have this 10 of Cups. And this is about family. This is about completion. This is about like exuberance, if that's the word, like joy and passion and living and getting the house, getting the property, getting the freaking dream, the American dream or whatever, you know, like that typical kind of stuff. But in reverse, again, I feel like we've got a taste for it. And now it's shifting again, or there's had to be this like put on pause, or this, yeah, you know, you were really working towards that. You were doing a great job, but now things are shifting. I bet these are all, I don't want to bet, but watch, they're all freaking reversed in this line. So there's been a taste, but now it's turned on its head again. And then story number 3, and I should say, you might resonate with all of the stories. You might resonate with just a few. I don't want you to have to pick only one. That's why I do them this way. And then we have the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Creation, the ruler of creation, of action, of fire. This feminine energy of the creator, right? She sits on her throne. She has sunflowers and even a little black cat. I'm thinking of some of you. I know there's a lot of kitty parents in our group. in Patreon anyway, and I'm sure YouTube as well. But she looks off into the distance. What am I creating next? What do I want to do next? How's everything going? What am I doing next? It's time. She has this face of like a little smirk. Like a little, well, it's like stoic, I guess, but thought. In thought, what am I creating? There's something very beautiful and new to develop. It will be soul-based. It will be harmonious. It will be balanced. It will be your equal. So it will match your energy. Whatever it is you're creating next will match your energy. Keep that in mind. Okay, so our story continues. Our story continues. The Knight of Pentacles. Don't burden yourself. So in our story of, you may have made some connections. You might have got a taste for what friendships and equal collaborations and partnerships and this like celebrating of each other and just really quality people, like as quality as you are, those quality people coming into your life. And there may have been a drawback, a time to give each other space for some reason, not a fight, not an argument, not a separation, but you live in different places, for example. Here we want to remember, don't burden yourself in the material. Don't let the material weigh you down. Don't keep like getting more things that are your responsibility. This is a time not to let go of responsibility, but let's not take on more. And if there is anything that we've been carrying for no reason, this is a time to let go. So in this separation and development of you all as individuals from this friend group, part of our guidance here is to not carry more than we need to, and also perhaps let go of any baggage or burden. Is it a friendship? Is it a career, collaboratory kind of partnership or creative partnership? Are you holding on to old things? And I don't even mean like in your mind. I mean like in the way you do stuff, in the physical. Are you limiting your money? Are you limiting your potential with your money? Are you limiting because you're carrying too much? Are you overextending? Are you trying to make it happen where you guys reconnect now, but it's actually time to so you're kind of going to take on more than you need to? Well, I'll fly out and sure, I'll come out there. No. That's not it right now. It's not it about doing more than we need to. Oh gosh, for all you OCD people like me, you're probably like, girl, these freaking cards. So our story of having a taste of this kind of almost domestic success, or like, I'm going to move here, I'm going to get that. Oh, like this fun family, my friends are going to enjoy it. We have the card Justice. So the reason here is that we need to strive again for balance, or we need to allow the fact that things are imbalanced right now because everything is turning and twisting and turning and toppling and redeveloping, and there is so much more to develop. Maybe you wanted that house, and now that this flux situation, this crazy situation, maybe you didn't get it, because now when you do get it, you'll have like a much better percentage rate or something. Or maybe you didn't have to put as much down as you thought that you did. Or maybe like something's going to be different. You're going to get it in a way that you didn't think would be possible. There are legal ties here, there's something of the system, of the court, of the, stamping, notarized, kind of energy here. So the reason is not because of your failure in any way, please forgive my language there, but more so in the fact that the system is changing and you want to manifest within the parameters, right? In a sense, like there's a little parameters at least we have to keep in mind of. Sorry, my neighbor walked by and Papa barked. But our creator energy, starting something new. What do I want to create? I have high standards now. My standards have changed. My ability to say no and yes have changed. My will has changed. It's developed more. And we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So yes, the wheel is freaking changing, and it's already begun. it's already on its way. You know, what's interesting about the Wheel of Fortune, even when it is reversed, it's still a wheel. Like, there really isn't a strong reversal energy necessarily for this, in my opinion. So it's more of timing or looking at it or clarifying it. Just make sure, this tells me, the fact that it's upside down just tells me that we need to look here a little bigger, a little more thoughtfully. What am I creating? Who is my equals that I want to create with? What brings my energy? What am I creating that matches my energy? And remember that. Remember what that is and really attune to it, so that as everything is falling into place and as things are shifting, you end up with what you were meant to, because it is magnetized to your energy. Right, in our story over here, there's been a separation to the friends or something, or just something, you know, there could be a boy, like someone gets a boyfriend, someone's getting married, someone's moving, someone's doing this. But when you're together, it's like, you know, like all that. Our work, whoever's watching this and whoever resonates with it, is to focus on the physical and let go, make space for things in the physical. And the result, or the ending card here, is the Queen of Pentacles, upright, with her little savings, with her nest egg, with the ownership, in a sense, not like we own anything, right? You know, everything is in flow, but the ownership of her reality. Forgive my nails. I had to like pick off my gel. This one was the only one that didn't want to come off, and this one's the worst one. So, pardon. Not pretty. But when you're in this space too, you are so much better suited to realign with that, to reconnect. And now you're all not, you know, forgive the genderization here, but maidens, you're like bosses. You know what I'm saying? Like your bosses coming together. And I love that. So cool. Really resonates. All right, our second story here. We have this thing we wanted and now it's on pause, or something's going, but it's not you. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. The systems are changing and we need to adapt. So it's not a time for building. It will come, but it's not a time for building in the physical reality. If this is a home, if this is a space, it's not a physical build right now. It might be online, it might be digital, it might be interweb, all that shit based. But there is a pause here for sure. If you want to see it straight up. All right, and again, it's nobody's fault, but we have to see the wheel turning. We have to see what the system shifts before we can start working. Or just be mindful that if you are building, be mindful that we are in flux. So strike, if the hammer's hot or the iron's hot or whatever that thing is, go ahead and strike. Don't let me hold you up. But just keep in mind that you need to be aware of this. Is some kind of permit situation, is some kind of legal shift going to mess you up, or is it going to serve you? So just keep that in mind as you're building that structure. This has a lot of house energy to me specifically. Home, house, it could be workplace in general, it could be a room you're redoing, it could be anything really. All right. So we're creating, and our creations are matching our energy. Be mindful of that, because this wheel is turning and we need to make sure that we're attuned and aligned to our full potential, and we acknowledge that, and we acknowledge our strength, our warrior energy, because this is keep going and it's going to land. It's rigged, you know what I mean? It's rigged to your magnetic. And over here, the King of Pentacles reversed. How funny. So we have Queen and King. The King of Pentacles reversed. This speaks in this story of, let's say, reestablishing or disconnecting a little from the material. We don't want to be bogged down in our creations through focusing only on the material, only on the financial gain, only on the production, the product, if that makes sense, like the end result. This is about the creative process and the journey and the ride of it, not the heavy weight of it all. That will come. Taurus season is coming, like that's a very fertile and physical reality time. This is more of the ignition and the forces, the plane of forces that we're connecting with. So let's not focus too much on the physical reality or physical end of means. I hope that makes sense. All right, and I want to pull some cards from my friend's deck here. This is the Holly Simple Fuzzy Prism Oracle deck. And I just want to pull one card for each of these stories, just as a little extra guidance. I received these from her on the trip, and I just inspired to bring them out. I used to use these all the time because I have this deck already, but it's a little different, and I love it. Okay, so we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Isn't these cute? I love this art. Whoa, looks so cool. Okay. So for story number 1, the advice is self-care, which yes, goes into this. It's self-development, but also self-care. Make sure you're being fueled by your heart. You're breathing in the energy from your heart. See yourself. Literally, like this thing. I know it's a little spooky for some of you, but like I'm so into it. Breathing it in, like eating it. Eating what you're passionate about and really focused on that. And also, of course, getting your rest, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your mental health, your emotional health during this time. All right, I have these all upside down. Oh my God, these are so cool. So story number 2, balance. We have justice in reverse. So find balance in your life. As within, so without. There is the inner work to do to create harmony and balance within ourselves, to allow it to come out through this time, to temper or harmonize or influence the discord that we're experiencing. And finally, all of them have boobies. My son would be so happy. For our third story, creating, magnetizing to us as this wheel turns, as this state of flux, releasing the attachment to the physical, as in, oh, I need to make this much money. Oh, that's why I'm doing it. Oh, this is going to pan out. Let's focus on the experience, on what fuels us, on what our passions, and pure and simple love, It doesn't have to be romantic. But this tells me, too, that if any of you are in the boat of being open to love in that romantic way, like looking for maybe to align with a partner or to cultivate more love in your relationship already, by doing this, by being focused on yourself, on your passions, on what you're creating, and as this wheel turns and releasing these physical expectations in a rigid way, releasing the rigid expectations, you will be more attractive. And I don't mean, you're all very attractive, right? Like I'm not trying to be superficial, but there's nothing more attractive than someone who's passionate about what they do, or what they're working on, or what they're reading, or the food they're eating. There's nothing more attractive than that. There's nothing more easy to love, in my opinion, right? Of course, like maybe I'm using my words a little strongly here, but their love will find you because you're focused on love and what you love and what is important to you. And just like we talked about, we're creating from our energy point. Excuse my stomach, it's like right next to the microphone. We're creating from our energy point, so we're creating on our level. What we're creating will match our own energy. and love in that capacity is another element to fuel all of this, right? Love what you're building. And if you don't love it, it might not be right. All right. Well, I hope that this reading supported you today. And if you just give me a sec, I'm going to pause and move over to our ASMR style by proxy energy work session. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for sharing this space for me and allowing me to be a little part of your path today. I hope that I am serving. All right. See you in a sec. All right. So change of scenery. It's Saturday. I have a new neighbor. Have I mentioned this before? And he is bumping music, and unfortunately the room that I've kind of turned into a studio for myself is on the first floor, and it's so much noisier. So sorry for the shock here. I think I'm gonna have to do this today for everything. So let's just settle, get into our space, and get into our by proxy session, okay? First, I neglected to share with you the crystals for this session. I've been trying to share them with you in the tarot portion, and I just slipped my mind. So the first that I'll show, let me make a little sound actually first. Create a background noise in case any tunes carry through the wall. I did get invited to the party though, so I got busted outside as I was like, where is this noise coming from? So the first I'll share with you is this black garnet. And you can see it has these really interesting formations. Curious, I got it from the Real Crystal Witch. And garnet is a strong stone already, but this black version, particularly in these formations, is just really beautiful. Strong, empowered, designing your own world, your own life, very root chakra, earth star chakra as well, we could say. Then I have this beautiful window quartz, which might be a type of fire quartz as well. Like a hematoid, is how you say it, quartz. This is from Andre. It's one of my favorites. And it has a really nice empowered energy, and it's unique. It's such a unique formation. I guess all crystals kind of are. Alright. Then we have this aragonite star. Let me lighten you up a little. See these tubular formations as if they're like stretching and reaching and expanding. And while I've done that, let me just show you again the formations on the black garnet and the window quartz. You're good, buddy. Good boy. Taconite. And you know, I could be wrong with my pronunciations. Another Earth Star Chakra stone, another Root Chakra stone, the creative energy. That's a dog across the way. I think I need to get a new place. I think I have to move again because there's just too many sounds here. Then I would also recommend like a fire quartz or fire agate, but I don't have any. And as I was looking, I chose this rainbow obsidian. It's very difficult to see, like my hand would have to be shining directly in the light to see the kind of purpley tones this one has. But regardless, it has a very volcanic nature to it. Obsidian, it's like a volcanic glass essentially. And I don't know another sign that's as volcanic and eruptive as Aries energy. Last but definitely not least, this is a sunstone. Composite, so it has quartz and iolite. And I love the balance of the sunstone with which is very primal instinct, with the iolite, it's much more intuitive instinct. And I think because we're asked to go within now, they make a nice combination together. So I'll make it a little darker again. Bamba is under my bed scratching it up, so I'm sorry if you hear that. I've been chased around by sounds today. I have to just deal with what I can. Okay, so let's light our candle and set our intention together. Use this big guy today on behalf of your and my and everyone else's highest and greatest good. Our intention today is to support the collective and ourselves, of course, through the experience of Aries season. To support balance, harmony, productivity, growth, connecting with the self, clarity of self, discovering the self, creating the self, tapping into our warrior energy, our strength, our passions, and what really like starts our engine, really gets the motors turning, so to speak. And I want to just put some oil that Jennifer here gave me. It's a Breathe Essence oil. How could she have known? So just in lieu of what's in the present environment and the present atmosphere, let's add, I can smell it. Oh my God, this is good. It's Aromatherapy Associates. So let's just put a few drops of this in to support the lungs of the earth as well as our own lungs, just as an intention, an extra element. within my reach. I'm going to start off with a little mist, because it's just such an empowering blend. We're just going to spray to your right, your left, your back, your front, below, and above. And I'm going to spray my hands. 3 is a great number for development and momentum and building. So we're going to first work in the aura, and this is going to be a very handsy video. Just centering myself, centering to connect. I'm seeing sweets, like donuts right away. That sounds good. I would like a donut. I'm seeing glasses, like spectacles. I'm seeing leaves turning in on themselves. Almost like if you took a leaf, like a maple leaf, and pulled it in and made a little thing, but if it looks crunchy, like it looks hard, like it did it itself. A little boat, or like a little offering dish of a leaf. How cute. Alright, and let's work in our aura. Oh, you know what? I have my little tiny cutie peach selenite here. And let's first use this to cleanse and release any stress, any weight, any attachment that is, only, of course, in line with your free will and what is not serving at this time. So we're going to go through and just breathe in and out comfortably, purposefully, intentionally, to release your stress, to validate and then release your stress, to quiet the mind, to quiet the vision, to release the loop of kind of fear-based thought patterns. We need to be thinking. Any attachment to saying yes to shit you don't want to say yes to, Anything below your standard that doesn't serve you in some other way as well, like through your own fulfillment. Down your forehead, down your brow, relaxing the muscles in your brow. Relaxing the muscles in your jaw. Just We don't want things to get stagnant. We don't want our passions to get stiff, like where they're not flowing. You know how anger can make us do that? Sometimes anger helps us move, as an example. But sometimes it makes us freeze or shake because we're just like, and I'm not accusing you of being angry, but if there's any frustration, just relax into the jaw, up around the ear. And down again, all the way down your body. And the back of your body too. Maybe you feel lighter. Maybe you feel you're able to connect more with your bed or your chair or wherever you're resting right now. Sometimes our stress really burdens us, but sometimes it makes us feel disconnected and almost like we're not here, So we just want to work on this first, just given the present circumstances. Down the arms. Right, and in the palms. And the other. The fingertips. So back to the hands. Let's change our view a little. Okay. I'm going to focus on channeling to support, to call out your power, to call out your comfort in saying yes to the things you want to say yes to and no to the things you want to say no to harnessing your passions, your fiery energy, like passion, like, oh, this excites me, or passion says in like, this taps into something and I need to do something about it. Whatever it might be, there's clearly a whole spectrum here, right? We want to channel the energy of Aries through us comfortably, call it in, reclaim aspects of ourself, of our will, of our motives, of who we are and what we want, what we require in this life experience. So you might want to connect with a visualization of this energy pouring through your body, filling you up with this like liquidy, fiery energy. Feel it warm in your stomach or your hips. Feel this energy down your legs, like roots or rivers of lava, connecting deep down into the earth, connecting with your Earth Star chakra, your earthly experience yourself as in this lifetime. Feel this heat deep below you, like there's a river of lava flowing from the very core of the earth, up through your Earth Star, into the soles of your feet, up your ankles, up your shins, up your calves, through your knees, into the thighs, into the hips, and this bubbling primordial matter that you can create anything from. See yourself staring into a pool of lava. Maybe it looks like a stream moving past you. Maybe it's just like a spring of lava, like a natural kind of opening to peer into this, again, primordial matter. And in this soup is carbon, is metal, is everything. Just pure form, pure creation, and transformation, transmutational power. We are forging ourselves. We are forging our tools, our inner tools. So see yourself gazing into this slowly moving, slowly rolling, thick, hot, liquid rock, liquid magma. And of course, this is metaphysical. It will not burn you. Fire can't hurt fire, can it? Connect with the fire energy within you. See yourself as this flame, this pure dancing light. And reach in to the magma and pull out your tool. Perhaps you retrieve a sword or a dagger or a shield or a talisman or a ring. Perhaps it's a mirror. Perhaps it's a pen. Perhaps it's a beautiful comb. Do not judge what you retrieve, but know it has some meaning to you. And if you need to look up what that meaning might be, go right ahead. When we're done, look at your tool and ask it what it's for. Why does it present itself to you? How does it want to be used in this creation of self, in this forging of self? Is it for protection? Is it to slice away what no longer serves? Is it to remind yourself how valuable and high quality of an individual you are? Is it to support your creative energy? Is it to reflect back to you your own beautiful and powerful essence of self and your fluid nature? healing, transforming, and creating yourself. Right. Let's move on from the magma pool. Turn around and see behind you, or just in your mind's eye, a mountain, a hill, a staircase, a ladder, a tree, something to ascend. And whatever you see, begin to take step by step by step by step up to the top, overlooking the view. What do you see? Is it the stars and the cosmos? Is it the Grand Canyon? Is it a just desert? Some kind of open range? Is it a forest? The ocean? A space that cannot be described by words? Whatever you see, as you climb to the top, go to the edge, and use this opportunity to declare your will. Speak yourself, your developed self, the self you are developing at this time, into existence. In the beginning, there was a word, and the word was God, that kind of thing. Declare yourself. Declare your mission. Declare your purpose. Declare your passions. Declare your intentions. Speak your will. Shout it. Hear it echo across galaxies, across rivers, across dimensions. Hear it echo within, to every cell in your being, to your subconscious mind, to the very core of you, which holds your frequency and projects it outward. And gaze into the darkness within yourself. Close your eyes and focus on the dark matter within you, the space between your cells. And see that vibrating and taking form, moving and twisting in ways to support your declaration, your authority, your sovereignty. Focus now on a window, as if you're looking to yourself a moment from now. whatever you see. But see yourself and make sure you hold the image of your happiness, of your fulfillment, of your dreams coming true, of your strength, of your adversity, of your passions leading you each and every step of the way. And feel yourself as you see yourself. Feel that now. Feel how strong you've been, how much you inevitably have overcome. Think of all the people you've helped simply by being you. Feel your success, your achievements, your ideas birthed and witnessed and accomplished, your manifestations, your journey. Hold that frequency and hold it in your heart. Feel it resonating in your heart space. And reach up to your heart space and grasp that key. Open your hand and look at it. Know this key and many others rest and reside inside of you. And you collect more every day and every time you are true to yourself. You follow your instincts, your passions, your inner guidance. You are a key holder for so many situations, circumstances, developments, and you hold the key to every door, collecting more and more each day. Alright, I want to use a little magic oil on my hands to fluff your oil. Bear with me. Oh my god, let me just put a little in my hair, cause damn, that shit smells good. Just fluffing your aura, making it thick and red with amber hues and black, fiery sparkles and shines. Feel your strength. Feel your force. Just pull it out bigger. You're a giant. You're a giant. You're a giant. You're a giant. Nothing can stop you. Not even your noisy neighbors. are cared for. And you are so important to all of our journeys. One of the members of the retreat said, if one of us wasn't born, the world would be an entirely different place. The stories would be entirely different. And that's quite interesting, isn't it? So let's remember how important each and every one of us are and honor that in ourselves for this season, particularly, and every season. I thank you so very much for your patience in my wackiness and in my issues and timing. I send you so much love, so much just seeing you, witnessing you, holding you in your strength, in your power, in your warrior. Like, this is your world. This is your life. All is mine. Let's do it, you know? From the very, very, very bottom of my heart, I bow to